The show begins with Sheriff Mike Thompson and Deputy Liv Baker driving through snowy mountains toward the secluded home of Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel, just outside the small town of Patience, Colorado. They're investigating a murder, and with the town's only doctor as the victim, they need Harry to step in and examine the body. Harry reluctantly agrees and makes his way to town to help determine the cause of death. The scene then flashes back 4 months, showing an alien spacecraft crashing in the snowy wilderness near Patience. The alien stumbles upon a lone house by a lake, where he encounters Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel. In a desperate move, the alien kills Harry, disposes of his body in the lake, and takes his identity. Now posing as Dr. Harry, he spends his days studying human behavior by watching TV and searching for the lost parts of his ship. His real focus, though, is finding a critical piece of his crashed ship, a device crucial to completing his mission on Earth, which he must locate before anyone else does. Arriving in town, Harry quickly senses that navigating human life will be a challenge. He is then taken to the local clinic, where he meets Ben, the young mayor, who brings him to examine Dr. Sam Hodges' body. Observing the scene, Harry initially assumes Dr. Hodges took his own life based on the blood pattern and hand placement. As he prepares to leave, Ben insists on a full autopsy to confirm the cause, leaving Harry to handle it. Outside, young Max Hawthorne encounters Harry, catching his sight. He lets out a scream and runs away. Alarmed, Harry realizes that Max can see through his human disguise. Later, as Harry prepares for the autopsy, Dr. Hodges' assistant, Esta Twelvetrees, arrives to help. She doubts it was suicide, pointing out that as a doctor, Hodges would have cut his carotid artery, not repeatedly stabbed himself. Harry reluctantly considers she might be correct and agrees to proceed with the full autopsy. Afterward, Esta thanks Harry for his help and invites him out for a drink. Harry declines, as he needs to retrieve the real Dr. Harry's body from the lake before it is discovered. But as Esta walks away, calling him a weirdo, he reconsiders, realizing that blending in socially might be a wise decision to avoid any kind of suspicion. Later, alone in the autopsy room, Harry removes Dr. Hodges' brain for further analysis. Just then, Dr. Hodges' wife, Abigail, unexpectedly enters, asking about her husband's whereabouts. In the evening, Harry meets Esta at the pub, where they talk about his encounter with Abigail. As their conversation deepens, Esta opens up about her past, revealing she left home young, married Jimmy, but is now divorced. She asks Harry to help her pick up some belongings using his truck. After a brief chat, Darcy, the bartender, joins them, and the three enjoy drinks, dancing, and a good time together. Later, after parting ways with them, Harry decides to quietly kill Max, using his alien senses to track the boy's location. He sneaks into Max's room through the window, but as he lands, he makes a noise that wakes Max. Just as Harry tries to grab him, Max screams, waking his parents, who happen to be Ben and his wife. Harry quickly hides under the bed. Max insists to his parents that there is an alien under his bed, but they dismiss it, thinking he has been watching too many movies. They take Max to their room, leaving Harry frustrated as he slips away unnoticed. The next day, Harry wakes up with a hangover, but pushes on with his search for the device. Instead, he uncovers an inscription on an old mine shaft that reads, "59 died to save one." Later in town, the sheriff confronts Harry, accusing him of taking Dr. Hodges' body. Harry admits it openly, explaining he buried it in the snow to keep it cold. While there, he meets Jay, a girl helping at the clinic, who corrects him when he mistakes her birthmark for a fly. After their shift, Harry and Esta head to her house to collect her things, but her ex-husband, Jimmy, confronts them and demands Harry leave. Harry agrees, but when he realizes Jimmy is abusing Esta, he returns to intervene, almost choking Jimmy to death. Esta calms Harry down and takes him away. On the way back, Esta notices something unusual about Harry's reaction, hinting that someone from Patience would not act the way he did. She also reveals that Jimmy forced her to give up their child for adoption, and sometimes she feels out of place, something Harry can relate to. At Dr. Hodges' funeral the next day, Harry examines the body and concludes that Hodges tried to perform a tracheotomy on himself after being poisoned. He tells Esta the murderer is likely at the funeral. The scene flashes back to 4 months earlier, with Harry narrating that his mission was simple: drop his device on Earth and return home. That same night, Esta is seen fleeing from her husband. Harry reflects that while his people once saw human connections as a weakness, he now understands it is their greatest strength. While searching for his device, he recounts the 1884 mine collapse, where miners risked their lives to rescue a trapped colleague. He finds a piece of metal with alien text that translates to full extinction event, and ominously states that once he finds the rest of his device, he will complete his mission and destroy humanity. The next day, Harry returns to the clinic, where Esta tells him a patient is waiting. When he enters the exam room, He is surprised to find Max there, who screams upon seeing him. Harry threatens to kill him, but Max runs off, causing trouble for his parents. Then takes Max to his office, where Deputy Liv, a sketch artist, agrees to draw the alien Max claims to have seen in Harry, while others dismiss Max's story as a delusion. Meanwhile, Harry struggles with his other patients and resorts to searching the internet for treatment options. After a long day, Asta invites him to her father Dan's restaurant. Dan expresses suspicion toward Harry, noting that while he usually has a strong feeling about other men, he does not get that sense with Harry as they talk. Harry notices posters around town with a sketch of his alien form. Realizing Max is not going to easily back down, Harry tries a new tactic. He calls Max pretending to be a classmate, then a post office employee who saw his alien posters, but Max quickly catches on, leaving Harry frustrated and more determined to silence him. The next morning, Asta sets Harry up in the nurse's office, telling him not to use Dr. Hodges' office. While there, Harry asks Asta about her family, but when she turns the questions on him, he avoids answering. Stepping outside, he reflects on how confusing the human form is, feeling an emptiness inside him. That evening, Harry meets Darcy at the pub and shares a story about almost killing someone while being drunk. Asta jokingly suggests that if he does kill anyone, he should make it look like an accident. She then suggests bowling as a date, but Harry only finds the idea of staging an accidental death appealing. The next day, Harry sits with Ben, offering counseling. While Ben talks about his struggles, Harry daydreams about Max's death, imagining it as an accident. Ben shares his own sense of emptiness, which resonates with Harry. Just as Harry is about to discuss it, Abigail storms in, interrupting the session and challenging Harry's theory about Dr. Hodges' death. After that, Abigail goes to Dr. Hodges' office to collect his belongings, but clashes with his staff, who refuses to let her take anything, believing the items serve as evidence. Asta then confronts the sheriff, accusing him of mishandling the investigation into Dr. Hodges' death. Harry observes the argument, realizing how easy it is to understand human emotions. Later, Harry goes bowling with Darcy, where Sheriff Mike impresses with his skills. Both he and Darcy challenge Harry, but Harry, relying on logic, accidentally bowls the ball backward and injures the sheriff. He then talks with Darcy about the mountain snow, which leads him to realize something about Max. Believing Max rides his bike downhill every day, Harry decides to tamper with the bike brakes, hoping to cause an accident. The next morning, while treating a patient, Harry learns that Max has had an accident, which briefly pleases him. However, his satisfaction fades when Ben explains that Max only fell off his bike and will need stitches for minor injuries. Despite his initial feelings, Harry agrees to treat Max and stitches him up. Although Harry tries to intimidate and silence Max about the alien topic, Max remains unfazed by the threat and calmly compares the pain to a mosquito bite. That evening, Asta has dinner with her father, who senses she is struggling with Dr. Hodges' death. He suggests that she could honor him by cutting her hair, a tradition for paying respect to the deceased, and offers to help her. Although hesitant at first, Asta eventually lets him cut her hair as a tribute. He then advises her to burn her scrubs, explaining that Dr. Hodges' spirit might linger unless she releases it. The next morning, Asta reflects on her close bond with Dr. Hodges and, overcome with emotion, sheds tears in his office. When Harry arrives at the office and notices her sadness, he tries to comfort her. During their conversation, Asta tells him that Dr. Hodges' office now belongs to him. Harry tries to cheer her up by playing cards with her, surprised to find himself sensing her sadness, an emotion he is not supposed to feel. Alongside, Harry continues exploring the mountainside and finds tellurium, an element his species uses for anti-gravity technology. He starts to understand that the emptiness he feels is loneliness, much like Asta's grief for Dr. Hodges. He also realizes he is close to completing his mission, preparing to detonate his device and return to his people. Elsewhere, a man stumbles through the snowy landscape, taking a photo when he loses his footing and is mysteriously suspended in midair. Days later, two investigators, David Logan and Lisa Casper, arrive at the scene, discovering the eerie sight of the man's decayed, ice-covered body frozen in midair, surrounded by two predatory birds, also encased in frost. Harry spends a restless night, consumed with thoughts of his next steps, finding the rest of his ship, wiping out the human race, and killing Max. To pass the time, he Googles medical procedures, hoping to improve his skills as a doctor. The next morning, Harry heads up to the mountain to search for pieces of his crashed ship. As Harry discovers a fragment, an avalanche suddenly strikes. He notices a helicopter hovering above, realizing he is not the only one on the mountain. Later, as Harry plans his next move, Kate, Max's mother and Ben's wife, visits him. She tells him that Max claims Harry is an alien trying to kill him. Alarmed, Harry grabs a knife, but when Kate tells him, explaining that Max is just making things up, he puts the knife down. Relieved, Harry plays along, offering advice. Kate shows him a drawing Max made and asks if there is anything they can do. Harry suggests she move her family away, but when she hesitates, he brushes it off as a joke, claiming Max is just seeking attention. Kate admits that being the mother of a schoolteacher is difficult, and Harry takes the opportunity to tell her she might be neglecting Max. Taken aback by his bluntness, Kate agrees to spend more time with her son. After their conversation, Harry abruptly directs Kate outside, firmly urging her to leave. At the clinic, a nurse asks Asta to find Dr. Hodges' prescription pads. As she searches, Asta notices some pages are missing, which makes her suspicious. Just as she exits the office, she notices Harry staring at Jay, who is asleep. When she asks what he is doing, Harry replies that he is trying to learn how to sleep. Asta, thinking Harry has trouble sleeping, suggests he try meditation. Before they can discuss further, Deputy Liv arrives with urgent news. A body has been found in the lake, and they need to head to the town hall. At the sheriff's office, Sheriff Thompson informs the group that Jack Rooney, a local fisherman, discovered a severed foot in the lake. Harry immediately panics, recognizing the foot as belonging to his human counterpart, Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel. He fears that if anyone connects the foot to him, his secret will be exposed. However, Ben speculates that the foot may have been from a bear attack, offering Harry some relief. Thompson, on the other hand, believes the foot points to a serial killer and takes it as a positive sign, since serial killers are easier to apprehend. He plans to send the foot to Denver for DNA testing, but Harry steps forward, claiming to be a pathologist, and offers to collect the sample himself. After the meeting, Asta reminds Harry about a patient waiting for him. He heads to the clinic, where a mother is having her baby examined. Harry persuades her to allow him to perform a circumcision, and secretly uses the foreskin as a sample to pass off as a match for the sheriff's investigation, keeping the actual foot sample hidden. At school, Max is bullied for his claims about seeing aliens. Amid the teasing, a young Muslim girl named Sahar steps in to support him, standing by his side. Later that evening, Harry returns to his isolated home only to find the sheriff's team examining the beach. The sheriff explains that they are searching the lake to locate the rest of the body, then argues that this search is straining the town's budget, but the sheriff is determined to continue until they have examined every part of the lake. Darcy invites Asta down to the lake for a break from work, and the two enjoy the outing along the shore as the sheriff's team continues their efforts. By day's end, with no progress, Ben feels nauseous, and Deputy Liv suggests they shift their focus to the shore, thinking the body might have washed up. However, the sheriff insists on pressing on with the lake search. Harry, alone on the opposite shore with a police radio, and the dog, Cletus, stumbles upon a decayed body. He quickly drags it inside his house, but before he can fully hide it, Darcy and Asta unexpectedly drop by. When they ask what he is up to, he responds nonchalantly. After using his bathroom, they quickly head out for a girls' night, ending up at a high school party. At the party, Asta notices a student holding pills supposedly prescribed by Sam Hodges, but the prescription was dated after his death. She confiscates the drugs, cautioning the teen about the police. They soon find Jay passed out in a couch nearby and help her get home. Before leaving, Asta hands Jay a bundle of cedar, telling her to burn it whenever she feels troubled, a calming ritual her own father had taught her. This gesture brings back memories of Asta, who once gave up her child for adoption, and it becomes clear that Jay is that child. Later that night, the search team calls out, but the sheriff tells Harry they will resume in the morning. Cletus suddenly starts barking, leading the sheriff and deputy into Harry's basement, where the freezer is. Despite Harry's protests, they enter his house and check the freezer. They find only packages of meat, unaware that he has hidden the body beneath them. The following morning, Asta shares a heartfelt breakfast with Dan, where she tearfully opens up about Jay, and Dan reassures her that their connection will grow over time. Later, Asta buys a lock for Dr. Hodges' prescription pads, while Harry gets one for his freezer. Later, while Harry is eating at a cafe, Max and Sahar sneak in, quietly observing him. Sahar suspects Harry tampered with Max's bike brakes and decides to get a closer look at him. Ignoring Max's protests, she boldly walks over to Harry's table, knocks over his drink, and quickly runs out. Harry watches them leave through the window, suspicious of their actions. In New Mexico, David and Lisa meet a cowboy who claims he encountered the alien in its true form. He recounts how he fought it off, though it escaped, taking his horse and hat. David and Lisa explain that they sought him out after seeing his story online. When they press him for more details, he cryptically suggests waiting for his upcoming book. As he leaves, David and Lisa follow him. Outside, Lisa ambushes him, snatching his manuscript, despite David's objection with her tactics. That night, Harry dreams of completing his mission, imagining a world where people start to vanish. His dream is cut short when the sheriff's team resumes their search along the shore, looking for the body. Later, as Harry has lunch alone at the cafe, Ben joins him, inviting him to dinner at their house to help Max feel more at ease. Harry tries to decline, but Ben insists they will expect him at 6. Nearby, Asta and Darcy discuss the suspicious prescription pads and drugs found at the party the previous night. When Harry invites Asta to join him for dinner, she says she is busy and suggests Darcy go instead. Both Harry and Darcy agree to the change. At the clinic, Asta cautiously asks Jay about taking Dr. Hodges' prescription pads, but Jay denies it. Harry, however, cuts in bluntly, accusing her of taking them, which only fuels Jay's anger. Simultaneously, when Max returns home, he discovers his parents have invited Harry to dinner in an effort to ease the tension between him and Harry. Max quickly informs Sahar, and they devise a plan. When Harry and Darcy arrive, Max greets them warmly, even embracing Harry. As Harry chats with Ben and Kate, Sahar quietly sneaks outside and steals the key from Harry's truck. During dinner, Darcy casually reminisces about past moments with Ben, catching Kate off guard and leaving her visibly annoyed. After the meal, Max tries to stall their departure, while Sahar works swiftly to slip the keys back into Harry's truck without anyone noticing. The atmosphere grows tense as the evening unfolds, with the suspense building around the kids' next move. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification, and leave 1,000 likes or 100 comments if you'd like us to continue part 2. Thank you.